Avengers, Doomsday is bringing back almost everyone, but there's one person they are completely ignoring. And the brand new leaked images from reshoots just confirmed exactly that. There's a lot to unpack today, so let's get into it. Welcome to Avengers Protocol, the channel where the Marvel Universe gets analyzed without filters and without sugarcoating anything. If you're new here, subscribe right now and hit that notification bell, because we drop content constantly, and you do not want to miss what's coming. Let's get straight to it. Before we go any further, I know exactly what some of you are already thinking, that the ignored character is Kang. And honestly, I get the confusion, because there are truly no rumors or leaks pointing to his return in Avengers, Doomsday. Even here at Avengers Protocol, we got turned around on that one at first, so we completely understand. But here's the reality. The villain of this film is Dr. Doom, and that's already an established fact. The movie isn't called Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, for a very specific reason. Now, a lot of people, including us, were expecting Marvel to give Kang some kind of closure within the next Avengers films. After all, they had been building him up as the central threat of this entire new era. But everything points to Kang not even being mentioned in the movie. The narrative justification that does exist is Season 2 of Loki, which gives his story a kind of ending. He was defeated and replaced by Loki. So as much as it stings a little, his absence wouldn't be a catastrophic narrative loss. The real absence we're talking about today is something else entirely. We're talking about Black Widow. According to an extremely credible source, someone with years of proven accuracy, Steve Rogers is going to have an emotional moment in Avengers, Doomsday, sharing a conversation with Yelena Belova about Natasha. And that says everything. Yelena is Natasha's adoptive sister. Steve never had a direct encounter with her, even though Yelena is already part of the new Avengers lineup through the Thunderbolts. But the possibility of them sharing that conversation about Natasha, coming from a source this reliable, only reinforces something that is genuinely uncomfortable. Scarlett Johansson is not in the cast of this film. And look, it does nothing for us to hide behind. She already got her ending in Avengers Endgame. Because let's be real with each other, that ending was pretty weak. She simply died. She sacrificed herself. And she didn't even get a funeral. You know who got a better send-off than her? Hawkeye. A character most people forget about. He came back, talked about living a full life with his family, and he's still returning in Avengers Doomsday. And Tony Stark, who had one of the most epic and emotionally devastating closings in the entire saga, full funeral and everything, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as a completely different character, Dr. Doom. In both cases, the actor is back. We've said it on this channel before, the multiverse opens the door for alternate versions of any character. So if it doesn't happen in Doomsday, we will almost certainly see it in Secret Wars. So why isn't Scarlett Johansson in this? Everything points to this being a behind-the-scenes issue, not a story issue. For those who don't remember, she was a producer on the Black Widow film and part of her earnings were tied to box office performance. But the release happened right in the middle of the pandemic, and Disney decided to simultaneously drop the film on streaming. That cost her significant money. She sued Disney. There was a major public conflict that eventually reached a settlement. There was even an agreement for her to produce another project for them. But it's clear that after all of that, her relationship with the company became pretty strained. The reason she's absent isn't narrative. It's business. And that's what makes it so frustrating, because from a storytelling standpoint, there is absolutely nothing preventing her return. A lot of people might argue that bringing Natasha Romanoff back would undermine the weight of her sacrifice in Endgame. And the answer to that is simple. No, it wouldn't. The film is dealing with the multiverse. All it takes is bringing in an alternate version of Black Widow, one who may share similar experiences, but is still a different character. The same way Wolverine's return in Deadpool and Wolverine didn't undo a single thing about the emotional power of Logan. Nothing that came before gets erased. These are different realities. And both the character and the actress deserved more. Natasha's ending in Endgame was completely brushed aside. She was given her own movie after she was already dead, and that movie essentially served as a vehicle to introduce her adoptive sister Yelena as the new Black Widow. Yelena, who didn't even get a proper chance to say goodbye to her sister in any meaningful way. The narrative door is wide open. These characters' arcs need something more cinematic, something more resonant. And let's not forget, in the Thunderbolts, we also have Natasha's adoptive father. Imagine that full family reunion, Yelena, the adoptive father, and an alternate version of Natasha Romanoff. That would carry enormous emotional weight. It would be a brilliant opportunity for Scarlett Johansson to explore a completely different side of her character. It's a real shame that behind-the-scenes circumstances are standing in the way. Now, there's another absent character worth mentioning briefly, Hawkeye. Though, let's be honest, Nobody is losing sleep over that one. The character had his own series, where he essentially trained alongside the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, passing on the legacy. That was a solid and complete send-off. His arc is resolved. Same with Steve Rogers, he went back to the past to live out his life with his family. Those stories have natural endings, so their absences make organic sense within the larger narrative. If you haven't subscribed to Avengers Protocol yet, do it right now. This is exactly the kind of content we bring you constantly. Behind-the-scenes intel, leaks, theories that actually hold up. Hit that like button on this video right now. It genuinely helps us more than most people realize. It pushes this content in front of more Marvel fans and keeps this channel growing. Every single like makes a real difference. There's more important news to get into. Leaker Alex Perez, who also carries years of proven credibility in the Marvel Scoops world, posted an image compiling several characters, right around the time reshoots for Avengers, Doomsday began. And the online community started speculating something that makes a lot of sense. Those characters are either participating in the reshoots, or they're key figures for the next Avengers film, Secret Wars. Because according to rumors, Marvel may already be filming certain Secret Wars scenes during these very same Doomsday reshoots. And it wouldn't be the first time they've done something like that. The characters flagged in that image include Wolverine with Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, America Chavez, Ms. Marvel, Kate Bishop, Jesse Lee, and Tommy and Billy, the reincarnations of Scarlet Witch's children. And here's something worth noting, there is a significant number of young characters in that list, which could be pointing directly toward the formation of a young Avengers team in the MCU. In fact, several of these characters had already appeared in those supposed leaked concept art images that circulated a while back, depicting scenes from some version of Avengers, Doomsday. Some people are even suggesting these could be the central protagonists of Secret Wars. And with all due respect, that doesn't quite track. Even counting Deadpool, Wolverine, and the various Spider-Men, these are not the characters who carry the weight of an Avengers-scale story. It's exciting and important that they play a meaningful role, but the core of that narrative needs to live with other characters. With the ones who have been holding up this universe from the beginning. The real Avengers. And to tie everything together, there's a source with solid contacts inside Hollywood who shared something very revealing about the Steve Rogers that appears in the new Avengers, Doomsday footage. The one that was shown at a recent event but hasn't been released publicly yet. According to this source, the Steve Rogers we see in that footage is 11 years older than the version we saw in the teaser that played in theaters before Avatar. In other words, there's going to be a time jump in the narrative. And that lines up perfectly with something Avengers Protocol has theorized before, that the footage shown in theaters are prologues, introductory scenes that won't be part of the final film itself, but function as context setting for what's to come. If in the first teaser we see Steve living in a house with an infant, and 11 years are going to pass, that child will already be a teenager by the time the movie takes place. And that has enormous implications for the story. But there's more. According to that same source, by that point Steve will have already crossed paths with Dr. Doom. And Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom would be native to the Fantastic Four universe, where he's been living with his own family. A character rooted in that parallel universe who will eventually collide with the main one. And this confirms what multiple behind-the-scenes sources have been pointing to, the Fantastic Four universe is going to be absolutely central to the plot of the next Avengers. And honestly, it makes complete sense. What's interesting about this approach is that in the past, Marvel introduced individual characters and then brought them together. Now the model has shifted, they've introduced an entirely new universe, and that universe is going to crash into the one we already know. It's a completely different narrative scale. Unfortunately, everything suggests the full trailer for the film isn't arriving anytime soon. Some are saying the heavy marketing push might not even kick off until July. And that makes sense, because July brings San Diego Comic-Con, which is traditionally where Marvel makes its biggest announcements. It was at that very same event a few years ago that they revealed Robert Downey Jr.'s involvement in the next Avengers. July also lines up with the release of Spider-Man, Brand New Day, which means Doomsday's marketing won't be competing with Spider-Man's rollout. All calculated, as always. What do you all think about everything we covered today? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we genuinely love reading every single response. And if you haven't hit that like button yet, do it right now. It's the simplest thing you can do to support this channel and make sure content like this keeps reaching more people who love Marvel as much as we do. Every like, every comment, and every subscription keeps Avengers Protocol growing and pushing this analysis to the fans who deserve to see it. If you made it all the way here and you're still not subscribed, there's no reason to wait. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join the community. This is Avengers Protocol, signing out.